Hello, my beautiful rebels. Just kidding. This is not going to be a spoof video. Yesterday, I happened to see yet another ex-vegan video, only this time it was the Fairly Local Vegan. I started watching and I was like, oh, you can't hide behind that pretty smile. She took some time getting to the point, and there were a lot of commercials. I was trying to feed my chihuahua some honeydew and I had to keep getting up to skip over the dang commercials. Glad you're making money, Fairly Local Vegan girl, 'cause I ain't making squat. So apparently a bunch of people jumped down her throat because she bought a pair of leather sandals from the thrift store for her kids to pass down from one kid to the next kid to the next kid. And you know, she has sustainability in mind when she makes a decision like that. Now she feels like she can't claim to be vegan because everybody's giving her a hard time. But we all know that vegans have different opinions about things like secondhand leather and wool and stuff. I personally don't feel comfortable wearing the skins of tortured animals, but that's me, and you know, she's not supporting the supply and demand chain. Anyway, I was going to comment on her channel, just showing my support, and apparently she disabled the comments, which is totally understandable because people can be damn vicious. We have to understand that she made some good points. We don't want to trash the planet. I mean, that's not good for the animals. I mean, leather shoes will last longer than synthetic, but ideally we would all be living in the tropics and going barefoot and naked. But oh, for shame, Fairly Local Vegan girl. How dare you shod the feet of your Canadian children? It actually makes me really sad because we need positive people like the Fairly Local Vegan girl in the vegan community. I mean, it's kind of crazy though, because like, who in their right mind would rather be part of the ex-vegan community? I heard someone say recently that John Venus doesn't want to identify as vegan anymore. It's like veganism is becoming a bad word. So now someone will call themselves ex-vegan even if they're not eating animals or animal products. But they're choosing to identify as plant-based, which removes the ethics of not eating animals. But that's the reason they're not eating animals, is because of the ethics. So for them to call themselves plant-based is probably because of the stigma that is now attached to veganism. And I'm sure they feel persecuted by vegans and pushed away or be excommunicated. It's like Christians against Christians and Muslims against Muslims, and Amish people shunning Amish people for not being Amish enough. Think about when you first became vegan, there were aspects of veganism that you probably weren't even aware of yet. When I first became vegan after being vegetarian for 20 some odd years, I happened to have backyard chickens at the time, and I got them because I was aware of the suffering, but I still considered myself vegan. I wasn't supporting the supply and demand chain. Now I'm sure there's some militant vegan police out there that will inform me that undoubtedly I was not vegan, I was never vegan, I'm still not vegan, and I will never be vegan, simply for postulating that a person may call themselves vegan even if they have not yet reached the status of vegan perfection. There's a great video out there called "Do All Vegans Think the Same?" where they ask 5 vegans of different backgrounds questions on different vegan topics, and it shows how vastly different views vegans can have. We're all evolving, and even though there's a clear definition of what veganism is, people still have varying ideas about what that definition means. Here is the accepted definition of veganism. A philosophy and way of living which seeks to exclude as far as possible and practicable all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. So I asked myself after rereading this, was Fairly Local Vegan Girl exploiting animals by buying used sandals? I don't think so. Was she being cruel or supporting cruelty to animals? No, actually she wasn't. So I think people need to give her a break. She doesn't deserve to be shamed or put down. Now, it's one thing to purchase a pair of used leather shoes, but it's a whole nother thing to be an extremely popular vegan YouTube influencer and then suddenly start eating animals and promoting eating animals. I mean, these people have hundreds of thousands of followers, and that's just like, I don't know, I don't feel that bad about shaming those people. Especially when they influence hundreds of thousands of people. So come on, vegan comrades, redirect your anger. Instead of tearing each other down, we need to lift each other up. Anyway, we're all different, and everyone seems to think that they know the correct way to be a vegan. So apparently the definition of veganism has been added to, which includes something about promoting animal-free alternatives, and not all vegans promote anything. Some people just kind of live their own vegan life quietly and try not to ruffle any feathers. But I think Fairly Local Vegan Girl probably promoted veganism a lot better than any of these closet vegans, and definitely more than her detractors. You gotta give the girl some credit. Now, if she starts cooking bone broth and recipes and, that's another story. Then I'm gonna have to do a spoof. Vegan advocate and author Michael Landfield talks about the different levels of veganism in his book, Creating a Beautiful World. And it starts out with shallow veganism, which is where we all kind of start. We're just kind of figuring things out. And then many people move on to the angry vegan stage or the closet vegan stage. I'm still in the angry vegan stage. So the next level of veganism is deep veganism, where we are compassionate to all people, vegans and non-vegans alike. And it even goes on to higher levels of veganism. Maybe even more than just levels of veganism, maybe there needs to be different categories of veganism. Just like in vegetarianism, there's ovo-vegetarians, lacto-vegetarians, ovo-lacto-vegetarians. So for veganism, there might be just like secondhand vegans, or no palm oil vegans, or backyard chicken vegans, or vegan pet vegans. And then there's vegans like myself, where I won't sit and eat a meal with other people who are eating animals. Maybe that would be called an isolationist vegan. The well-known vegan activist Gary Yourofsky would not eat with anybody that was eating anything that was non-vegan. Maybe none of these categories are acceptable to certain vegans who only think that the perfect vegan is the only legitimate vegan. I think the number of perfect vegans is probably 0. Of course, we can and should strive for perfection. There was a time when I thought I might want to disidentify myself from being vegan, because I was like, what if I can't be the perfect vegan? Other vegans are gonna shame me. Maybe it would be better to call myself plant-based. But that's stupid. I'm vegan for the animals, gosh darn it. So yeah, like I was saying, there needs to be a stop shaming vegans movement where we can offer suggestions and support and ideas and maybe help people think a different way. You know, like saying, maybe taking the eggs of the sweet little happy chickens might not be the nicest thing. Or share with people why you feel strongly about how buying used leather might not accurately represent the vegan message. So what do you think? Should there be categories of veganism or just non-vegan and perfect vegan? Should we quit vegan shaming? So let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace, love, and empathy. The well-known vegan activist, the well-known vegan the vegan advocate, the well-known vegan why is it hard to say? The well-known vegan activist. Maybe it's not nice to take the eggs away from the sweet little chickens in the backyard who are just trying to mind their own business.